Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Knit Chat Cafe. My name is Noelle.
I'm Kelly.
And we are a knitting podcast coming to you from Southwestern Ontario. And we are back in Southwestern Ontario.
We are.
Yep, we got back yesterday. So this is from Rhinebeck. This is a mostly knitting podcast, but we do some other crafts as well. But this is our Tuesday evening get together with our friends for coffee or wine or whatever you want to drink and chat and just talk about our knitting. Mm-hmm. So welcome to everybody that's in here. I see a lot of you have been chatting already. Welcome. If there's any new viewers, welcome to the Knit Chat Cafe. You're always welcome here. If you have questions, pop them in here. If Kelly and I don't see it, somebody will. Somebody will address it. So it's a wonderful, wonderful group in here.
Thank you, Julia, for reporting that you can hear us and see us. And
okay, I didn't say that.
A few people say we look and sound great. I thought we looked jet lagged. I thought we look exhausted. I thought maybe we would look high on yarn fumes, but thrilled to be here.
I am exhausted. Exhausted.
But it's exhausted in such a good way.
I know it's exhausted in a good way, but it's always after that travel day too, right? Though with the drive to the airport and the waiting at the airport and the flight and the picking up your luggage. And, we don't live 2 minutes from the airport. So you still got your drive home. I mean, all that's because we had Mike and Ross drive us and bring us back. Other than the drive there because it was dark, that was still good knitting time.
It was good knitting time. It was. And so, although I'm tired, it's like an inspirational tired because we saw all the things, and that's 2 weekends that we've had back-to-back festivals full of inspiration. And I am looking forward. I'm not going to lie, friends. I am looking forward to tomorrow getting up and having a leisurely morning because today was a really busy day. And I'm looking forward to having a leisurely morning. I did not knit a stitch as of yet today, but that is not going to be the case tomorrow. I am going to be taking a slow morning and putting in some needle time for sure.
Yeah, I know. Like, honestly, even in the last, I was so busy last week getting ready and things that I wanted to do to get ready that in the last week, I have probably knit less than what I normally knit for a long time. So this episode might not be big on the actual knitting.
No, but we did our best. I'm just reading some of the comments here now. A few people have just gotten in today from Rhinebeck. Mindy said she missed us at Rhinebeck. We did have a great time, Mindy. Thanks. Maria says that she was watching our posts on Instagram and she felt she was with us the whole time. I did not do very good on that, Maria. I tried to do better, but there's just so much going on. And I really wanted to be as present for the festivals as I could be. So I would try to post a little bit each evening once I got back. And Stacy is saying that her train home was canceled because of a mudslide that took out the Amtrak tracks. No. I'm not sure where you were trying to get to, Stacy, but I hope everybody is okay and that you say your train home was canceled. So I don't know if you've made it a roundabout way or if you're still waiting to get back. But yeah.
Well, Jenny was saying something about that when we were looking at if our flights and everything were on time, but I wasn't sure what direction it was. So we actually, our flights were
early. Well,
worked out. They were early. They worked out wonderfully. They were on time. We actually got home 15 minutes ahead of schedule. The flight in was right on time. So yeah, so our luggage was fine. In fact, on the first flight, Kelly's luggage came off first. And mine was just shortly after. And even on the way home, they came off relatively early. So yeah, so it was all good in that respect. That was nice. So, but we met a lot of viewers. It was so nice to actually talk to people and have a person in front of you and just you guys are just awesome. And it's so nice to have the chance to meet some of you in person. I wish we could meet everybody in person.
I know. And it just, I don't know. I mean, I've been trying all day to kind of reflect on it and think about it. And I just keep saying the phrase, my heart is full. And I know that's maybe starting to sound repetitive, but it's all I know how to say. My heart is full, and it's full for so many reasons. It was amazing. It was just absolutely amazing to meet the people. And for me, if somebody asked me what's the best part of Rhinebeck or the Rhinebeck weekend, I have to say it was the people. The yarn is lovely. Seeing everybody's sweaters is lovely, but honestly, it's the connection that you can make with a person. And the lovely thing about Rhinebeck is that you could go to Rhinebeck completely alone and not feel alone. The minute you sit down or the minute you are anywhere at that festival, you can turn around and you're going to strike up a conversation, and it's easy, and everybody's there for the same reason. And it just,
and you have something in common. So the minute you start talking, like everything just clicks. So yeah, it was lovely. So it was lovely. So, okay. So we will get started with our regular schedule. So we usually always start
our regular schedule of no schedule at all.
Our regular schedule of no schedule. I mean, we are both here tonight. Our internets are working at the present time. Kelly had a problem earlier, but you know, the camera issue is fixed, and you know, I look a little less frozen this week. So
yes.
So that's all good. Okay. So I did go through our emails and our notes, and I've got a couple of questions that we will address. So the first one wasn't so much a question as just a comment from a viewer. So we have talked before about that little tool, that tightening tool for your interchangeable needles, and the ones that we have that have the wooden handle on them. So one of our viewers messaged me and said there is a place in Texas that makes them, and they were actually available at whatever, I think it's DTW. Anyway, there's a fiber festival there, and she was selling them there. But the website is, and I'm just going to stick it up here, is jerrybrockwoodworks.com. And she's got things like spindles and things like that on there too. But these tools are not up on there as of yet, but she plans on getting them up there. And she actually does the handles in different designs. Like there's plain ones, but there's also one shaped like sea turtles, some shaped like ladybugs. So some shaped like
cool.
Yeah. So some shaped like different things. So I went onto the website, and like I said, they're not there yet, but there is a contact. So if lots of people contact and show their interest, I'm sure it wouldn't be long before some of those tools appeared on that website. So I know that lots of people have asked where we got them. Unfortunately, Elgin Knitworks isn't making them anymore, but they are or will be available at jerrybrockwoodworks.com. Or any of the festivals that they might go to in your area. They're not in Canada, but any festivals that they might go to in your area that's near there, you might be able to find them there.
Okay.
And so that was the first.
DFW, by the way, stands for Dallas Fort Worth.
Okay. I didn't know if it was an airport code or an actual festival.
I know. We still have airport codes. We have
Detroit is DTW.
I know. We do. We've got airport codes in our head for sure. Absolutely.
Okay. So the next question was about button bands. And when you're doing a button band, do you prefer to do it where it's attached to the garment as you knit it?
Yes.
Or an applied button band. The reason being, does the applied button band give more structure to the garment than the one that's knit right along with it? So I have done both. I don't mind either one. I usually, most of the time, will do what the pattern tells me. The thing is, as far as what the button band looks like if you want the button band to be ribbed that's facing out this way, you can't do it while you're doing the fronts of the cardigan, right? You've got to pick it up and knit it out. You want to make sure if it's applied and you're doing it at the same time that you have a nice edge that goes down each of those outer edges of the buttonhole band. As far as structure, I have found that they've both been fine. Now, one thing that I did do in one of the cardigans, because oftentimes your button band is done at a tighter gauge than the rest of your sweater. So I do remember one sweater that I did, and you knit across on your cardigan, but when you got to the button band, you actually switched needle sizes to a smaller size. and knit the button band and the buttonhole band with those smaller size needles. So I just did it with, I had a couple of small circulars. So I just kept whatever the stitches were for the button band and the buttonhole band on those. And every time I got to them, I would knit the remainder of it with that smaller size. Mm-hmm. And I think that gives you a button band that's more in keeping with the same gauge that's in the regular body of your sweater. But another thing is, a lot of sweaters that have the button band attached will be garter stitch. And that makes sense because garter stitch has you need more rows per inch than you do in your regular sweater. So it is going to kind of give you that kind of cinching in a little bit or firmness, because it takes more rows of garter stitch to get the full length. And oftentimes your button bands aren't the full width of your thing because you don't want your sweater to sag at the end of it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, Kelly, what do you think?
I have done both. And I do think that I don't really notice a difference in the stability. When I say that I like to knit the button band at the same time, that's totally me being the lazy knitter. It's just that that's one less thing to have to go back and finish after the fact, which it's the same reason why when I'm traditionally knitting a sweater, I will go ahead and knit one sleeve before I finish the body, just so I only have one sleeve to go back and finish. So it's a preference thing.
And a lot of people don't like picking up the stitches, right? Yeah. It's not even that you're not done. It's like you still got to pick up all those stitches.
That's right.
So now one thing that you could do too, if you do the button band, like right in keeping with doing your sweater at the same time, if you think that it doesn't have enough stability, you could still go down and sew a ribbon along kind of where the button band meets the body of the sweater. And that will give it a little bit of structure so that it doesn't stretch out. So even though you don't really have anything there to cover, you can still do that.
I have also, I've done that, but I have also gone in with the same yarn and crocheted a chain into that area. I know that I specifically did that on one of my cardigans that I felt it was kind of stretching out along here. So I wanted to tighten up and give that some stability. So I chained a fairly tight chain so that it would have less stretch. So that's something else that you can do. That's, it's probably a little quicker than sewing in a ribbon. But the ribbon looks really nice too. So that's another nice option.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. The next question was about the alternating cable cast on and
our new favorite thing.
It will match up with Lori's twisty bind off. Okay. Unfortunately, they do look dissimilar. Mm-hmm. So the best one with your alternating cable cast on is probably a tubular or a sewn bind off. But in saying that, it depends what you're doing, right? Because when I've used the twisty bind off, it's with a sock, and that's the only thing. I don't have to match it to anything else. Now, it depends on how particular you are in matching your bind offs everywhere on your garment. If you're just doing a neckband and a bottom, they're far enough away, like other than yourself, nobody else is really going to notice it. But what I did do, I kind of had a look online and I did find this. So I'm going to pull up this picture here. And this is just a website that kind of gave you a list of matching bind offs and cast-ons. And this was on the knitfreedom.com. So it kind of gives you what the cast-on is and what the matching bind off as far as them looking similar should be. I could not find anything that matched Lori's twisty bind off. So if there's anything out there, if anybody else knows about it, let us know. But I will put this website in the show notes, and it kind of gives you a good idea of the best way to, match up your bind offs and cast-ons. So
I also want to say that if there are actually people out there going around checking to see if your cast on and your bind off are matching, they are looking at the wrong parts of the sweater. They should be looking at all the gloriousness of the rest of the sweater and not fussing over that. But
yeah. Okay. The next question was about the Lang paillettes that we have used in some of our sparkle sweaters. Some of the websites that you can get them at, Little Red Mitten has Lang paillettes. The Knitting Loft has Lang paillettes, and Crafty Jackalopes has the Lang paillettes. Now, all of those are Canadian websites. I don't know of any in the States. I'm sure that there are because it is Lang yarns. So if you Google Lang yarns, I think you might be able to find other locations other than what I've just mentioned in order to get them. So. Mm-hmm. Okay. And before my last question is kind of long, Kelly. So before I do that, do you have any other questions?
No, I'm just laughing at Julia's comment. She said, perhaps a fair judge would be looking at your cast on and bind off. And you're not wrong, Julia. That might be the case.
Probably. So,
okay. Nope.
Did
Go
you have
ahead
any
with the
questions?
next one.
Okay. So my last question was about sweater math. So I kind of put together a slide just to do a little bit of a show here and see, hopefully you can understand what I wrote down. But I did have a viewer, and so I picked the particular sweater that she's doing to kind of go through it. Okay. So she's looking at doing the Soho top by Kadri, and she's doing it for her daughter. The actual pattern gauge is 20 stitches and 35 rows to 10 centimeters in garter stitch. Okay, so that's important that they've told you it's garter stitch. So that means when you do your swatch, you need to do it in garter stitch in order to get an accurate measurement. Okay, so her actual gauge, the numbers that she gave me were 23 stitches per 4 inches or 6 stitches per inch. Okay, well, we're going to be particular here. Okay, so 23 stitches would not be 6 stitches per inch. It would be 5.75 stitches per inch. Okay. And, it might not make that much of a difference when you're doing like this gauge, but as you get into different gauges, that one stitch that you think doesn't make a big difference will make a big difference. Okay. So might as well go with the accuracy. Okay. So now in the accuracy department, 4 inches is bigger than 10 centimeters.
Yes.
Okay. So you want to keep, when you're doing something, you want to keep all of your measurements in the same base. So if you're doing inches, keep it in inches. If you're doing centimeters, keep it in centimeters. So for this one, since the pattern told us in centimeters, I'm going to stick with centimeters. Okay, so that 23 stitches for 4 inches, I converted to a stitch count per 10 centimeters. So that would be 22.64 per 10 centimeters, which is still, that's quite a bit tighter gauge than what the pattern is at 20 stitches. Okay, now to get that measurement for 1 centimeter, all you have to do is divide it by 10. So for 1 centimeter, you get 2.264 stitches. Okay. So the size that the person wants to make is a 90 centimeter finished garment that includes ease. So again, that's another thing that you want to look at. And when you're looking at a pattern, make sure when you're looking at those measurements that you know whether that measurement includes ease or you have to add ease, because sometimes it will say to fit bust, which does not necessarily mean it's going to be that size. Okay. What you really need to look at is the finished measurement. Okay. Yes. Sometimes that's available in the pattern. Sometimes you have to look at the schematic in order to find that. Okay. So the required ease with ease that we're looking for is 90 centimeters. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to figure out how many stitches do we need to get that 90 centimeter measurement. So we take our measurement per centimeter, which was 2.264, multiply it by the number of centimeters we want the garment to measure, and we get 203.76 or 204 stitches. Okay. And we can check that by going back. And so we're going to take that 204 stitches. We're going to go back to our measurement that we came up with per 10 centimeters, the 22.64. So divide it by that. And then we're going to multiply that because we know it's by 10 centimeters. And with averaging and rounding off, we get 90.1 centimeters. Okay. So once we get that, the next thing that we have to do is we have to go to our pattern. You need to look at a point in the pattern where you are measuring around that bust. So I'm not sure, I don't have this pattern, but I'm not sure whether it's top down or bottom up. If it's bottom up and there's no shaping, you're going to be casting on, you would want to be casting on that amount of stitches. If it's top down, once you get to the division for the armholes and join everything up, that's the number of stitches you're looking for. So you need to go to your pattern and see which size most closely matches that 204 stitches. In this case, you would know that you're actually going to have to be doing a bigger size because your gauge requires more stitches to get the same measurement. Okay. So if you don't have the exact size, like say you've got 210 or you've got, 200, okay, then you're going to have to make a judgment call. Do you want to stick, like, go a little bit higher or a little bit lower? Or in this particular pattern, it wouldn't be too hard to adjust to just do the 204 stitches, but then you would need to keep that in mind when you get to all the shaping. Okay. So that's how you would pick your size. But now we also need to address row gauge.
Yes.
So I don't know. I didn't have any information as far as what the row gauge was when the swatching was done. But based on your row gauge, it's easy. It looks like in that pattern, it's easy to adapt the overall length from the underarm down. However, you might have to play with the shaping when you get up into the upper part of that sweater. Mm-hmm. So if you're coming down, you might want to do a few more. It's going to be a few more rows. Now, if your pattern tells you by measurement, by, you know, the number of centimeters before you start something, you'll most likely be okay. But if it doesn't, and it's giving you number of rows, you're going to have to adjust it by what your row gauge is.
Yes.
So, and basically this will work for, and maybe I'll stick that somehow in the show notes. Anyway, but that will basically work for whatever you're doing, you know, like it's just basically, you just need to take the time to do those math calculations. And again, go to your pattern, find where that stitch count is and match it up as closely as you can. Mm-hmm. So, okay. I hope that
that is our knitter's math lesson for the day. I will time code stamp that at where she started that. So if you want to go back and look at that in a leisurely time and not just allow the numbers to, it's easier to look at.
It does sound like a lot of math, but you know what? Like, honestly, to sit down and take the time to do that at the beginning of, especially if your gauge does not match the pattern gauge and you like the fabric that you're getting. Yes. And that's another thing that you have to remember. Like, you have to figure out the fabric that you want for that particular garment. Like, like I think the viewer was going to do it in a cotton, and I think it should work fine as long as all those calculations are taken into consideration. Mm-hmm. So,
and we often do that. We will, if we do knit a swatch, we knit the swatch to find the fabric that we like. And then this is the math that we will go through to make the adjustments for the sweater to fit. If we do a lot of yarn substitutions, so if it's not the called for yarn, that's where you really need to be comfortable doing the math to ensure your success with the sweater.
That's right.
And it's a lot of knitting to find out that something doesn't fit. So you really do want to take that time to get things right.
And even doing that, I would be checking along the way that you're still getting the gauge that you had originally swatched at. So,
hence the try-ons.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. But you know what? If you're knitting it for someone, they might not be there. So the only thing that you have to go by is measurement. So just check it periodically. So, okay. Next, what we're wearing. Oh, wait. Forgot. One more admin thing. I just have to go back, and we talked last week about the sweater dress by Claudia.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the dress, and it does have a name now. She didn't have a name for it last time we talked, but this is the Meridian, and the code is Knits and Pieces 50. So the dress is on Ravelry, and it is by Knit Toronto, and that code is valid until midnight tonight Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so if you want to get that dress pattern at 50% off, you have to do it before midnight tonight at Eastern Standard Time and stick in the code Knits and Pieces 50. Mm-hmm. So, okay, I know it is. I really want to make that dress. I think it's beautiful. So, and it is an Aran weight. I believe that the stitch gauge is about 16 stitches, so it should knit up quickly.
Petra says that she has it in her favorites already, and she will be making that dress. It is. It's an absolutely beautiful dress.
It is.
And even if you don't want to wear it as a dress, you know, some people might think, oh, it's a little on the short side. Wear it as a tunic and leggings. Yeah. And I really don't know what the difference is between a dress and a tunic. It's exactly the same thing if your tights are opaque enough. But
a tunic on you is like a maxi dress on me. That's the difference.
Okay, fair enough.
So, yes, and thank you to Claudia and Knit for providing that code to us to share with our viewers. So
we met Claudia at Rhinebeck.
We did, and she was lovely.
Before we leave the admin section here, I spent a good part of my day today. We recorded an episode in Rhinebeck before we left from our hotel. And I spent a good part of today doing all of the edits and getting all of the footage in there that I wanted to get in, all of the photos that we took this weekend, the interviews that we did. So I will have that posted. YouTube, God's willing, it will be posted by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. and
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time. So you can get yourself 2 full episodes of us if you can stand us this week. And anyway,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed working on the episode, though. It was interesting to hear Claudia's side of things and the story behind the dress. So if you want to know the story behind the dress, I'm not going to spoil it tonight. You'll definitely have to watch the episode. But it was so much fun doing that editing today. And it was just like being back at Rhinebeck all over again. So I really hope that that you will enjoy that episode, that we have that special episode for you this week.
Okay.
So settle in with a T. It's a bit of a lengthy one, but it's a good one. It's a good one.
Okay. So,
okay.
What are we wearing?
I'm wearing a ranunculus. It's a very cropped ranunculus. This is one that I specifically made to go over top of my sort of high-waisted dresses. So it is very cropped. And I have a photo in here of it. You got it? Okay. Yep. Oh, you got it all. Look at you go. So I made this one on our way to Montreal 2 years ago. Finished it on our way to Montreal on the train.
Because I made you finish it. I made you
finish it. And it is 2 very different yarns held together. It's one strand of Holst Super Soft in the colorway Slow. That's that very dark purple that you see. And then the lighter color is a Rowan Kid Mohair. And it's funny, the color. I mean, look at the difference there. So dark and so much lighter. And then you just get this kind of beautiful in-between shade. I love this sweater. Oh, and I did 3/4 sleeves on it too. So it's really wearable and knits up super quick. I think I started this one the week before we went away. And like I said, I finished it on the train. Of course, it's easy to do a sleeve when it's about 8 inches of sleeve. So it's not that bad, but I have worn it a lot and I would do this again. I would keep doing this. It's a sweater that I love. I really like it. And it's just, a nice little yoke pattern. So, okay. And you?
I am wearing Primrose by Marie Wallin. And I do have a photo. So this is done in Marie Wallin's British Breeds yarn, which is spun at John Arbon Mill, but it is a blend of 4 different fleece. It's Blueface Leicester, Exmoor Horn, Wensleydale, and Warbles, and they're 25% each. It is a worsted spun yarn, which, if Ravelry is correct, it's a worsted spun yarn, which I kind of think that it sort of is, because it's not like when you use the Jameson Spindrift. Like Jameson Spindrift, I believe, is a woolen spun, and it's loftier. Like I really like this, but it does create a heavier fabric than like the Shetland Spindrift. Like it's a nice fabric and it blends in all well and it does come together, but it does feel a little bit heavier. Her colors are stunning. Like every color is like all sorts of little mixes of colors all together. And I think the whole range is kind of curated that all the colors sort of go together. So you can go in and you can pick out, different shades, and you pretty well know that it's going to go together in a sweater pattern. Now this pattern, as far as the colors, I went exactly by the pattern. The only modification that I made is in here, because I should have split for the sleeves, or it was bottom up. I should have stopped for the sleeves there, but I did almost another 1.5 inches. Had to figure out how to keep the pattern correct, because I knew that would give me more of a dolman effect, and I didn't want that. I wanted to be able to put my arm up and not have the whole sweater come up. Mm-hmm. So that was basically the only adjustment I made under there. Everything else is pretty much knit to pattern. But in doing that, because you join it up, you also have to do the same in the sleeves, right? Where you have to knit like further up here before you do your little underarm stitches for the sleeve. So, but I got the kit from the Woolly Thistle, so the colors were already picked out for me. And I don't mind picking out colors, but it's kind of nice to have a kit once in a while where all the colors are already put together for you and you don't have to think about it. And there were quite a bit of some of the colors left, so I've actually used those in my Paul Clay sweater, which I have to get back to.
Yes, you do.
Which I have to get back to, but it was so easy because I knew all the colors went together, so it was really easy to put those all together in the yoke of that sweater. So. And Jenny had inspired me over the weekend with all of
I
her
was just going
sterile
to
knits that
ask
I just
you.
thought I have to wear my
Yes.
Marie Wallen sweater. So
I was thinking that. I was wondering as soon as I saw it, oh, you've been watching Jenny this weekend
that's
and
right.
her
That's right.
Marie Wallen knits, and you thought, I've got to.
I need to get mine on. In fact, it's a little bit warm in the room. I had to open the window so I could wear it.
It's warm home here today.
Yeah.
I mean, not in the
Yeah.
house. The house was cool, but it got up to 22 degrees outside today. So it's definitely warm, but
Yeah.
okay.
So that's what we're wearing. Okay. Do you have any finishes?
I do,
I do, but I gave them away, so I don't have it here.
Oh, okay.
So you go ahead.
I guess so. Well, this is rare. This is really rare.
Hey, I have finished. It's just not here.
I know, but it feels strange to be the only one showing a finish. It's just a small finish. Did I even do a banner for it? It's my hat. Yes, I did. Okay. So I finished cast on after last week and finished before this week, which is, unheard of for me, my Guthrie hat.
Beautiful.
And I wore it at Rhinebeck. I love this.
But you put that little tag on it since you came home.
Yes, I did. I got this little tag at the Yarnbirds truck, and I just put this on when I was unpacking. Look at that. It says a Yarnbird. But the super cool thing about this tag is that it just pops off like that. So you can change it and move it around to different hats. I really like it. So yes, I didn't have the tag on it when I wore it, but I think I could have.
I didn't know you could switch it around. That's cool.
I know. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Where was that? That was
at Yarnbirds. I found it. Okay, so we went to Cake Palooza, and the Yarnbirds truck was there, and I did buy some yarn there. But when I was walking out to pay, I saw these just in a little basket, and I thought, you know what, that is super cute. So I'll actually take it off and show you a little close up. We'll get back to the hat. So this is just what it looks like. It's just
is there a brand on that?
Yeah, Yarnbirds.
Oh, it is their actual.
Yeah, it's theirs. So can you?
Okay.
There we go. It says Yarnbirds.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love with it. I thought that's the cutest thing ever. Now I don't even know where I had it on my hat. I guess it doesn't matter. I'll put it back on after. But anyway, so we're here to talk about the hat, friends, not the little Yarnbird sticker. But I kind of wish I'd gotten another one now, but it doesn't matter. It's like hat jewelry, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the Guthrie hat by Caitlin Hunter. And I bought this kit when we went to Woolstock last weekend. And it was it came in a kit. I've got pictures here of the yarn. So it had one skein of the, it had one skein of that too. Had one skein of the, stop it. My brain is tired. Don't tax me, lady. Okay, so it's the BC Garn Samila Mélange. And I have actually wanted to try this yarn. And it is a lovely, slightly rustic feeling, but still very soft. And it's an organic yarn. It's 100% wool. I don't remember the breed of wool, and I don't have the tag, so you can look that up yourselves if you're so inclined. But it comes in a 50-gram skein, and I think the price on it was $13. So it's very reasonable. It's very hat worthy. And then I paired that with, well, it was kitted with a skein of the Schopel Edition 3, which is a sort of a striping barber pole type yarn, similar to Spin Cycle, also very reasonably priced. So the whole kit, including the pattern, was $36 at the yarn shop that I bought it from. And I added my own colorway because they didn't have a kit in this color, but I'm headed to these colors. And then the other thing that I did different from the pattern is the pattern did not include a folded up brim, but I like that width around my head. So I added the fold up brim, and I tossed in a mohair just in the outside part of my brim, just the first 2 inches, which when the hat is all done, you really can't even tell, but I thought that would just give it an extra little bit of plump around the brim. So what I did notice, I wore this one day at Rhinebeck. I wore it all day. I wore it all evening. We even did our podcast, and I was still wearing it, and I didn't even one time get the slightest bit of a feeling against my forehead. Sometimes people complain that they kind of feel the wool there, and they will often try to knit something softer in that goes against the forehead. This was 100% comfy to wear, and I really like the way it turned out. I have enough of both left that I could probably reverse this and get another full hat.
Yep.
So maybe somebody will get one as a
totally
giveaway.
Different doing it the other way.
It would be completely different.
Yeah.
But it was just really fun. I was kind of in the mood, kind of had the itch to do color work. And this was a really, a quick little project that I could do and really enjoyed it.
Okay, I'm going to stick this up here. This is from Isabel. Isabel said Caitlin Hunter has 50% off all her self-published patterns with the code no FOMO until October 31st. Thanks, Isabel.
Yes.
So if you need any Caitlin Hunter patterns, this is your opportunity. So
you could get yourself the Guthrie hat.
Yep.
So the Guthrie hat came about after the Guthrie sweater, if I believe that's correct. Yep. Yes. And I think you knit the Guthrie sweater, did you not?
I did.
You did. Yeah.
I did.
And so then she just transferred this onto the hat, and I love it. Could not love it more. Okay.
Hi. So what are you working on?
Oh, aren't you going to show your finishes or talk about your finishes?
I can't. I gave them away.
Well, can't you tell us what you did?
They were tea towels.
Oh, they weren't even knits?
Okay. Kelly, if you want to know how long they take to make,
no,
longer than a hat.
Just give me a minute. I just want to revel in the fact that
longer than a hat.
I just want to revel in this. Okay. Just one time. Just give me this little bit. Okay. I'm soaking it in. I'm all good. Okay. Before we do whips, let's do a giveaway. Let's talk about that. This is something new and fun.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to find the thing
to take my banner off.
I still, because we've got it organized in yours and mine. It totally screws me up.
Anyway. Oh, Margot was reporting that the Yarn Birds hat tags are sold out. Margot, maybe just give them a couple of days. There were quite a few in that little basket. And I know that a lot of vendors, when they're vending at an away show, their shop goes down to a bare minimum and they take some items out that they're taking with them. So just give them a couple of days to make their way home and see what they have left in stock. And you may see them. So I would check again then. So, okay.
So we decided that when we went to Rhinebeck, we wanted to have a little something to give away, which honestly, half the time we forgot. You get caught up talking and I would forget that I had them. And so consequently, we didn't give away. Well, I didn't want to give away all of them anyway. I wanted to keep some to share. But so we decided we'd like to do something that you can still use for another purpose. So we know that everybody has a lot of yarn, although we always like yarn, but we thought, knitters always like to send notes and little cards. So we made up some little cards. They're just like, we're calling them our knit chat notes. So I'll just show you, there's 4 different ones and they all are kind of a take on a different pattern. So this first one, put it up there so you can see it. Is it?
It's not focusing.
Why isn't it focusing?
I don't know. Oh, shoot.
Try this again.
I don't have any near me mine are all upstairs.
Anyway, this one says sending you a little love note. Like, I don't know if do I block out this or what?
No, I don't know why. Okay. You know what?
You have some?
Well, I'll go get them. Just give me 2 seconds. Hey, you talk. I'll be back.
Okay, I will. Okay. Anyways, I'll talk a little bit about these. So we decided that we wanted something that knitters could use and, like send them to your friends. Like, obviously they're going to be very specific for knitters. So I just thought about some of the things and a lot of the patterns that we all knit and kind of came up with little sayings to go along with it. And then my daughter, Jacqueline, is a graphic designer. So I had talked to her before about doing cards for us. So I kind of just told her what my idea was and what the sayings were. And she actually translated it into the cards. So she did all the artwork and then she actually took it all to the printers for us and got it printed, got the envelopes for me. And then the day before Rhinebeck, I was putting together all of the little packages. So we packaged them all in a little container like this, just in a little envelope. It's got 4 little cards with 4 notes in it so that you can send them to your knitting besties. So Kelly's going to show them up a little closer there, and hopefully you can see the design on them.
These are adorable. I don't know if you gave Jacqueline the full credit for these yet. I'm sure you did, but
yeah,
I am so stoked that she made how well she did on these. They're literally like the cutest things I've seen in a long time. So this is the first one. Sending you a little love note. Adorable.
Yeah. So we all know we have our love note sweaters. It's a
Miserina loves company.
That's because you know, we all have to knit more than one Miserina.
You can't just knit one.
So.
Have a great weekender. Adorable. The graphics are amazing. Jacqueline is just, and this one, and even in our
this
colors.
One is my favorite. I think this one is my favorite. I know she did it too. She did it in our colors.
Just a couple of hipsters. I mean, my goodness. Isn't that something? And then on the back, it just has our little logos. So as Noelle mentioned, they're blank inside. So you can send your knitting besties just a little love. But seriously, just a couple of hipsters. Absolutely adorable. When Noelle showed me these, and Noelle came up with the sayings. When she was away in Nova Scotia, she was, writing down clever sayings. And she's got more. She's got more sayings.
I've got more. She's going to do more for us too.
Those are the 4 that we went with. And yes, you're right. Hitch up and stitch. Love these punny cards. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
So we are going to do a giveaway, and I will.
Yeah, so we're gonna draw for 2 separate packages tonight and send them out. Yeah, so that you have them available. Who knows? Like maybe if you're giving your knitting bestie a gift at Christmas, you've got a little card to put with it, or whoever you want to send it to. So
yes. So you know how this game works. If you type in, if you're interested in having a set of the cards, type in hashtag #KnitChatNotes, and we're gonna let that percolate for a little bit. So we did give some away at Rhinebeck, and
if we saw people and I forgot, I totally apologize. Like I said, it was like you're sort of in the moment, and then people would be gone, and I'd be go, oh, I should have gave those out, and I totally forgot. So I apologize if I missed people. Yeah, we hope that everybody likes them, and we're going to keep them for some of our future giveaways. And like I said, we've got some more ideas for some other different designs. So, hopefully Jacqueline will be able to translate those into cards for us, which I'm sure she will. So
Tina says she can't believe you didn't do it feels like butter.
Well, that's not a sweater or a project, and it's not right.
Well, it should be maybe.
Well, you can do your own for that one.
While we're waiting for the comments to accumulate here, I just wanted to point out too that this little giveaway is part and parcel of one of the things that Streamyard gives you. And Streamyard is the platform that we use for our weekly live streams. It's a fantastic platform. They sponsor this channel for us. We're forever grateful for that. And this little tool they have developed makes it really easy and fun to do some quick little giveaways while you're live streaming. There is also under our show notes, if you're interested, if you're a podcaster yourself and you want to try Streamyard out, or even if you just want to talk within a group, or you can do webinars on Streamyard. It has many, many uses. And there is a link every week that we put in our show notes if you are so inclined. And there's a bit of a discount in there if you sign up through that link. So just wanted to point that out. But it's a fantastic little tool, and we love doing these little giveaways.
Yeah.
So,
and the reason that we actually will be showing these on our Rhinebeck video, and we will be giving away under that video, we will be giving away some more sets of them. But we wanted to, because you're here with us every Tuesday night, we wanted to show them to you first before we put them on the other video, and let you have a chance to, maybe get some of the notes tonight. But you're here with us every week, and we thought that we should show them off to you first. So I hope everybody likes them. And anyway, I think Jacqueline did an amazing job. So
I think so too.
I mean, she's my daughter, but she did an amazing job. So,
yes, she did. But also thank you to you, because you were the person who came up with the idea. And I think that's really clever. So we wanted to do something that was just a little bit different, and something that people can really use too. And I think they're fantastic, and I absolutely love them. And I don't even write little notes that often, but I would use those notes. I think they're awesome. Okay, we're just going to give this a few more seconds to get your entries in. We've got about 186 entries in there now. If you've already typed in hashtag KnitChat notes, you might want to go just pop down below and like the video or give it a thumbs up, because that's really helpful for us too. And that would be great. Okay, we're going to wrap it up.
Okay, that's good. Yep.
If you don't have a chance tonight and you don't win, again, watch the full episode tomorrow and there will be another opportunity. So I'm going to go in and draw this right now. Get ready. Good luck, everybody.
Yeah, and we're going to do it twice. So.
We're going to do it twice. That's right. So our first winner is Ada Boza. Congratulations,
okay, congratulations, Ada. And once we've done the second, we'll let you know how to get in touch with us for.
Okay, so here we go. You know what? I don't know how to do it a second time. Oh, draw again. There we go. Yeah. Sorry, friends. Sorry. Draw again. I don't know if we've ever done them back to back like that.
I don't know if we have or not.
Wendy Bradley. Congratulations, Wendy.
Okay, so for both of our winners, you can get in touch with us. You can email us at, let me just go here. You can email us at Knits and Pieces Podcast.
Just a second, I'll pull it up.
Oh, wrong one. There we go. Knits and Pieces Podcast at gmail.com. We need your full name if it's not already in there, which I think in both cases it was, but still just give us your name and your mailing address and we will get those in the mail to you. So congratulations. And again, anybody, if you're interested, we will be giving more of them away on our Rhinebeck episode. So, and that will be out shortly.
Tomorrow.
Okay. Okay. So we should talk about what we're working on.
Okay. How many things have you got on the go?
3.
Okay. You can start. I've got 2 going.
Okay. I did start a new sock, another Timber Yarns Marled, and I'm doing it based on a Hohe sock pattern, but I'm not following it identically. So it's the Moonlight socks, and that is by Hohe Locatelli. That is fine. I do have that.
I love how the pattern continues down around that lace. That's a really nice pattern.
Okay, so what I'm doing with this is I am just going to do the lace panel down the front of the leg and into the foot. I'm not doing the rib all the way around, just because I've just finished a rib sock and I don't want to. So I'm just going to put the lace pattern down the front. So, but I think the patterns. That's right. All I did was I know I'm going to put my mouse here, but you can't see that. On the side of the lace panel, there's a purl stitch because it goes into a rib. I'm just going to do 2 purl stitches on each side of the lace pattern. So it'll be centered down the middle of the sock. So both socks will be identical. And I'm doing it, and I'm hoping, I don't know yet because I haven't gotten far enough, but I'm hoping that the pattern will show up in this yarn. I think it will, right? Because her actual pattern, she does it, and she does a fade sort of into it, and you can see it. So this is all I've got done so far, basically just the rib. You can't see, I've done the first row of the pattern, but you can't see it. So I did a 1x1 twisted rib, alternating cable cast on, and now I'm into the sock. So hopefully I'll have some more of that done to show you next week. And again, I'm always amazed. Like I always look at the yarns, and I'm not particularly a yellow person, but I love this color in the sock. Like it just,
there are no bad colors. There are no bad colors. There are no bad colors. Not a single one.
So this one is called Ducky Yellow. So this is the Timber Yarns marled sock, and this color is called Ducky Yellow. So I think it's going to look good. So that's my first. And that I started one of the days in Rhinebeck, I don't know. And of course you could tell, like my concentrated knitting, I had a really long tail and I go to cut off the tail. Did I cut off the tail? No, I cut off the working yarn. So I had to rejoin it again. And so that was knitting in the van. But
yes. And I think you had an autocorrect in your banner. It changed Hohe to John, Jon, as autocorrect always does. So one of our viewers pointed that out, but it is indeed Hohe.
Okay, it's Hohe Locatelli.
It is Hohe, yes.
Yeah. So.
Okay. And I also cast on socks, but these socks don't have a name because I'm just making up this pattern as I go along. But I cast these on while I was at Rhinebeck, right? Did I have them cast? I didn't have them cast on before we got there. I think I cast them on.
I don't remember. One
of the nights that we were there, just because I wanted a sock to work on. So this is what I have done so far. I really like this yarn.
Yeah,
so this
nice.
This is Full Moon Fibers. It's called All Treed Up. And it was one of their, oh, my nails are disgusting. I'm looking in the camera going, that's a week of nails away that need to be done. But anyway, it came in a 2-pack kit. And there was actually, no, sorry, it came in a 3-pack kit. There's one more color, and I think it was a dark green. But what I'm doing, or what I'm planning to do, is just this little bit of color at the top, and then I'm going to do the toe in the color. I'm going to do a heel flap and gusset this time of some sort. I haven't decided. I'll let you know when I get there. And I just want the whole color to be this. I really love the way this is working up. This is so pretty. And I was thinking, I often do socks that have coordinating heels, or sorry, contrast heels and toes. But this time I wanted something that was kind of the all over color. And I'm fussy about my socks. I'm just fussy. So sometimes when you have even, not a self-striping yarn, but any kind of a yarn, you sort of get this like pattern going on with your sock. And then if you do a heel flap and gusset, it's going to disrupt the pattern. And I don't like the way it disrupts the color pooling around that thicker part of your foot. So that is why I often do a contrast heel. But now that I'm really into these clogs, I really want the whole sock to be the same color. And so I don't have a lot of those yarns if I want to go outside of a solid color. So I thought this would be the perfect candidate because I don't really think it has that much of a pattern. It does sort of kind of have a little bit of a striping pattern. I don't think it's really going to alternate the pool very much though.
Well, you could still do a cut and heel.
Yes.
Even though it's the same yarn.
That's true. I could do that too. Yeah. But anyway, I just think it's a really pretty color. It's got a lot of fall colors going on. I've had this in my stash for a while. I love the way the girls at Full Moon dye. And plus they're so stinking cute too. You can't help but love their yarn. Okay.
Okay, so my next, and I did work on this one a lot, like on the plane, and you could tell because I was covered with yellow mohair. And this one is the Wayworn by Melanie Berg, and I do have a picture of hers.
Oh, I'll look.
This is I got it. Okay, so that's what hers looks like. So it is like, it's really light and fluffy, but it is a big shawl. Like I've still not done the first 2 colors. Like I've got two more yellow stripes left before I switch to the other color. Here, I got my needles crossed up here, but here's like, this is very bright. I can't even get it all in, but there's goes on forever. And it's really blowing out on here. It's hard to see the 2 colors, but there's 2 colors in here. It is, I think it's Password. I think last week I said it was highlighter, but I think it's called Password, which is the bright yellow. And then the kind of like the neutrally color is called Parchment. And then it's going to go to this heather color is the next color. So I'm anxious to get the next color in, to see what it looks like. And then the last part of it is all done in this, but there's texture in it. So, and I do have 2 of these, and I am going to alternate them because I don't like taking a chance on not alternating. But anyway, I've got 2 more yellow stripes, and then I get to put in this color. So I'm anxious to see what it looks like when I put in the next color. But I wore a black dress on the plane on the way there, and I was knitting this, and let's just say I glowed by the time I got to New Jersey.
Then she was knitting on the plane on the way home on the same project, and I was wearing black leggings that day, and I was glowing. But I have to say, the sun was coming in her window, and when she pulled that project out, literally it was blinding. You could not look at the project. I don't know how she was knitting on it. It was so bright, and then it was reflecting. So like the back of the seats in front of us were bright yellow too. It was
and then I had my sparkle sweater on, and the light was hitting the sparkles on the sweater and making a design on the window.
Also, to the case of the sparkle sweater, you wore that on the way there, and the airport had her remove the sweater before she went through the scanner because they thought the little
all the sequins would set off the metal detector.
But I think they probably thought they were metal. They are indeed plastic. So I think it was completely fine. And on the way back, you went through the same scanner and nobody asked you to remove it. So anyway, okay. So what else I'm working on? Oh, I have a fancy new project bag. Noelle has the same project bag.
Yeah. Yep.
Isn't that delightful?
That was our plain project bags. Like, our plain project bags.
Our plain project bags. Because
we're used on the plane.
I'm knitting with big balls, and you need a big space for those big balls. You can't be squishing those into a small project bag. So we ended up recycling some of the brown bags that we got at the festival this weekend, and we end up on the plane together with our big brown bags. But anyway, so one of the stops that we made this weekend was at the Woolen Folk Festival, which we will probably have a little chat about in a second. But anyway, before we get to that, one of the vendors was the Lamb and the Kid. Is it Lamb and the Kid? Lamb and the Kid. Yes, Lamb and the Kid. And we wanted to, we mainly focused, I think, this weekend on yarns that are not readily available to us here in Canada, other than through an email, like an online shopping. We wanted to like see the things, squish the things, and buy the things. And Big Birdie, which I found out about from Miss Julia, was on our list. And so we got the Big Birdie. And here's the birdie that I got. So I don't remember either one of the colors though. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, it'll be in maybe the notes, or it'll be in the Rhinebeck episode. Yeah. Yes, because I did mention it in that. But anyway, so what I cast on. So Big Birdie is this like super plush, fat, soft as a cloud, not as a butter. And I cast on the Breton shawl, and I have a picture of it. Oh, that's weird. I don't see it in there. Oh, there it is. I was looking for my color. You won't find it in my color. And this Breton shawl is by the Lamb and Kid. And most of their patterns, if not all, I haven't checked them all out, but they tend to be free. And then they focus basically on projects that you can make with their yarn. So this is a shawl that I'm working on for my winter coat, which happens to be this gold color. And here's what I have done on it so far. It's so soft. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I was able to cast this on, I think, did I cast it on the night we bought it? So that would have been Friday night, I think. And then I haven't worked on it that much, but I mean, it does go pretty quickly. It's on 10.5, which is a 6.5 millimeter needle. So it's a pretty fat needle. Not my favorite needle size to work on. I will say that. I mean, it's enjoyable because it's a fast knit, but I find that the big needles feel almost clumsy in my hands. I'm much more used to something smaller, but I absolutely love this project, and I can't wait to get it finished and wear it. It's super soft and cozy. Okay. What else are you working on?
I am working on the Friday Slipover by Petite Knit.
I so thought that was going to be an FO by tonight.
No. Nope. I can't find it. Why can't I find it? Because I'm in Kelly's projects, not Noelle's project.
I'll look. You chat. Okay, I'll look.
You look. Okay, so on our way, after Jenny picked us up in New Jersey, We went to, before we got to Rhinebeck, we went to Pick Up Every Stitch, which is a knitting store in Mount Kisco. I always get that wrong where it is, but it's in Mount Kisco. And Felicia and Karen own it. And they were kind of having a little trunk show by Moondrake, right? And she had her newest base there, which is a Cormo DK. And I actually, you know, like, I'm all geeking out this time, but I actually did put a picture of what a Cormo sheep looks like in here. So, hey, he doesn't want to be seen. So this is a Cormo sheep. And I actually have, you know, my little fleece handbook here to tell you a little bit about it. Okay. So
I'm pretty sure we saw him at Rhinebeck.
I think so. I think so. So they are actually a blend of, I believe it was Corriedale Rams and Merino ewes that were bred together to produce the Cormo. And they were originally native to Australia, Tasmania in Australia. The first sheep came to the States in 1976, and then a larger import of them a little bit after that. But I guess they were scientifically bred. So they were based on objective scientific analysis. So this means that their fleece is always consistent as far as the micron count and has a well-defined crimp, excellent elasticity. And it does. I know that I'm working with it now, and it's a beautiful yarn to work with. Like, I wouldn't say like rustic, like not in rustic feeling as far as it's like, it's definitely not scratchy, but you just know how you feel that kind of less processed farmy type yarn. So anyway, so I am doing the Friday slipover, and this is Moondrake's new base. It is their Cormo DK. So this is where I am. So what I did, I only got 2 skeins, and I'm worried that I don't have enough, and I'm hoping that I will. So I'm not done because I stopped there, and I've already done my neckband, which I did modify because the neckband in the actual pattern is fold over, but this yarn is thick and bouncy enough that I don't think it really needs to have a fold over. So I've just done my neckband. I've done one of my sleeves. I've tried it on, and it comes to about here, and I only want it to come to about here. So I'm hoping I'm going to be okay. Plus, it's not blocked. I mean, I didn't swatch. Here I am talking about swatching. I didn't swatch, but right at the moment, it fits perfectly. It's beautiful. So this is an all over broken rib pattern, which the texture with this yarn just shows up like amazingly. This color is called red velvet. And it's just a beautiful, like, kind of lighter burgundy, deep, rich color. And I am just loving working with this yarn, like the squishiness, the texture. It feels amazing. So I do hope that I will have that done next week. And she's had some other
sure you will. You're so
in there.
close. You are so close.
Yeah. And I have a blouse that's a flowery blouse and has this dark color in it. And it's got big flowy sleeves, and it looked amazing with it. So I love this stitch. I can't go on enough about how much I love this broken rib stitch. When I did the Friday tees for Little Red Mitten, I just absolutely loved the look and the fit that you get, because it's got the stretch, but yet it'll go back in shape. And anyway, loving it. So
I love the detail.
Yeah, it's just
goes around that neck, like the way those ribs flow. And they had the sample in the store.
Same thing when you get down like into here too, into your, like how she does the increases, because you start at the top, how she does the increases to go out. Yeah, you just get that really nice.
It's clever, and dare I say it looks professional. It really looks tailored and put together well. Carla ordered yarn for that too. So did I, Carla. Mine is on its way. I ordered the store sample, which was a gorgeous shade of this like rusted orange color. And the interesting thing about that store sample is everybody was trying it on, and it was like the sisterhood of the traveling vest, because everybody who tried it on, it didn't matter what size you wore, the vest fit. It was crazy. So anyway, yes, I ordered that as well. And
I mean, honestly, I can definitely see doing more of those, like, especially like just even having it on for that short time to hear, and the way it fits. And, you know, like sometimes you're too hot to have a whole sweater on. It's nice just to have that vest to stick over like a blouse or, you know, like a light turtleneck or something. So.
Carla, stop it. I was just thinking the same thing. We need clogs to match. It's Carla that got me to buy the pink clogs. So yes, but yes, anyway, it is a beautiful pattern. It's very tailored. I can't wait to get my yarn in, and I can't wait to get that finished. I also have some shirts in my closet that I know will be perfect to wear with it.
Yep.
So.
Okay. So that's it as far as projects that actually got any work done on them.
Okay. And I just want to go back to this one comment from Annette. She wanted to know how many balls it will take to knit up the shawl, my birdie shawl. So the pattern, it's very efficient. It calls for 2 skeins of the main color. So I have 2 of the blue and 1 of the gold, and that will be enough. Once you finish the stripe, then there is maybe 1.5 inches of a nice fat rib border. And the only thing is I do have some ends to weave in, but I've been weaving in the second row of my gold row. I weave in that, so I can just trim that one right off. That will be no problem. So I will only have 1 to weave in of each of the gold rows. And I think there'll be 6 or 7 stripes in the gold, but I think this is going to be a really wearable shawl. Okay.
Okay. Yes, and Marg said that the Petite Knit also has a V-neck version of that Friday slipover. So.
Oh, do they? Mm-hmm. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, what's next?
Okay. So maybe we'll do a little. We're not going to show you any of our purchases, but we did get a few gifts.
My gifts are still in the bag. Okay, you know what? I did not unpack my vacuum bags yet, and my gifts are in my vacuum bag.
That,
so you
I
go
just
ahead.
Want to show you.
Yeah.
This is how you get your yarn home. I had 2 of these. I've only opened 1, but this is how you get your yarn home. Like, this is so condensed, and I only did this. These are bags that I bought that I only had a hand pump to get the air out, and I know if I even take my vacuum to that, it will suck even more air out, and this will be even thinner. But this was a super way to pack up to get the yarn home.
So yours, you need this little pump thing to like take the air out.
Well, you do, but you can actually sit on it and squeeze the air out, because I did that too. So you can do it without the pump.
Jenny gave me 3 bags, and again, maybe I'll save 1 to show for next week, but if I can wait that long to get the yarn out. But hers are very clever too. So you put them on and you ziplock them closed, but then at the bottom of the bag is this double vent system that it goes like one way, and then there's a little opening, and then it goes over the other way, and there's a little opening, so that when you squeeze all that air out, the air can't come back in. It's genius. So you don't need the pump. And it was just absolutely amazing. So I just kind of rolled it up, and I sort of laid on it on the table, and all the air got pushed out, and they came out about like this thick. They're super great.
Yep, they are. I'm going to put a lot of my yarn in that, just so that it takes up less room in my storage. So anyway, okay. So you don't have your stuff. Well, I'll quickly show.
Yes, you go ahead, and I can show mine next week. Mine are all still packed.
Okay. So first of all, one of our friends made us these lovely mitts so that we could wear them on Saturday morning while we were waiting in line to get in. As it turns out, we didn't have to wait in line because we didn't go super early because it was raining. And I guess I'm not sure if there was a line before 9 o'clock or not, but it was cool. And we definitely did have these on, and they're beautiful. And, and mean even more because they were made by a very special friend. So
absolutely.
And these were some things that they brought us and gifted to us. And the next thing was these kits. So mine is this one. So this is Spin Cycle Plump. So this colorway is Midsummer, and then the pom-pom to go with it. And then we've got a pattern to do either a hat, or I forget what it was called, a Betty bump or something. That was a pattern that was put out by the knitting place. And it kind of goes around your neck, and it's got the pom-pom here. So I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do, but like, that is just beautiful, like just gorgeous. Again, very special friends that obviously know our colors.
Clearly.
Yeah. And then, we had these little sachets, and I have this just sitting up in my room. This is a lavender sachet, and it perfumes the whole room. It smells amazing. The the smell of lavender just, and like you squeeze it. And
I had mine
I
beside my
love it.
pillow when we were in the hotel sleeping because I
Mhm,
love the smell of lavender. I find it very soothing, and
mhm.
it was nice just to have that to fall asleep with. A little
Then we had
security pillow.
these little books so we could, keep track of what we wanted to buy. We didn't use them, we just bought everything. So
Mine came in handy when I was
I
adding
know,
up
so
what I
it
spent to get
did.
back across the border.
So, and then, I also was gifted some O wool, and this is O wash worsted, and I've got 4 skeins of it, and I was looking through patterns to try and figure out, and I think I might do a Wilfredo with this
I think that would be beautiful.
because it will be the
Absolutely.
bright, and it'll be like my first one that I've got is in black, and it's hard to see the detail, but I think in this, you will see the detail amazingly in this, and I think it'll look really nice in that color.
Mhm.
So that's my plans for that. And then, I got some sock tubes, which I have not made socks from a sock tube yet.
Really?
I have not, no. So these were, our friend had made these up and she decided that they weren't long enough for socks for her, but since I have small feet, that they would be long enough for socks for me. And they definitely will be, like, because when I put that in half, put a toe on and a heel on, I'm still going to have a good length for a leg in
Absolutely.
there. So there's that one, and then 2 of them are in pinks. So
They're so
there's that
pretty.
one, and this one.
I
Yeah,
love
so
that
I'm
one
sure I
too.
have bits and pieces and odds and ends of yarn that I can put in there, and even if they aren't like the total length that I normally make, they will certainly be long enough to wear for socks.
Mhm. For sure.
So, okay, and that's a lot. Anyway, we want to thank our friends and Jenny, especially, well, and Jill, both of them, but Jenny drove us everywhere. And I honestly, I don't know if I could have driven from the Newark airport out of that maze of
It was a little
roundabouts.
bit of
And
chaos, yes. Yeah,
so,
it
but
was. And if I have to say this too, like the entire like the range of festivals that we went to over the weekend, it could be very daunting. It's a
mhm,
lot, and we were busy, and
mhm,
it was really nice to go with such an experienced person that has been there many years going to the
yep,
festivals, that knew everywhere to go, knew the timeline that we needed to get there. It was just lovely to be so well taken care of. I guess
yep.
that's what I can say about that.
So
And, just to be yeah,
I
I
know.
just
I just
I don't even know, like,
anyway, it was
I keep
absolutely
feeling like I'm running
lovely
out of words. It was
to
lovely.
spend time with, yeah, with special friends over the whole length of the weekend, and they certainly were made to feel very special.
Absolutely.
So, okay, so I did see a couple of questions pop up on here, and we did say that we were going to address that today. People are asking if we went to Woolen Folk, and yes, we did, and it was, um, not. I mean, there's no other way to say it. It was not very well organized at all. So,
No,
from the amount of people that were in there, the setup, some of the conditions that some of the vendors had to work in, safety aspect. There's no way that that place would have passed a fire marshal code.
it was not accessible.
And yeah, it was not accessible at all. I mean, it was really it was really poorly managed. I mean, it could have been a wonderful festival, and I know they didn't have the venue that they normally have, but when you're planning something that big, you have to make sure that you've got adequate space for what you're planning. And I know it rained and that didn't help, but even
You can't
planning
blame the
something like
weather.
that, you have to have a contingency plan if the weather happens to not cooperate. Luckily for us, we're just going into shop. We have the choice of staying or leaving. And
And
consequently, we actually did not stay very long because it was claustrophobic, and like being in the buildings because it was just so many people in them. Kelly had said if there was ever an emergency, there's no way all those people would have ever gotten out of
no,
there.
there would be no way of evacuating those buildings safely. And
No,
it was completely not accessible for anybody that had any form of a disability or a difficulty.
right?
Um, and I'm not just speaking about somebody maybe that was using some sort of an assistive device like a chair. I'm talking about anybody that was just unable to walk freely. And I'm saying this from the point of view of an able-bodied person.
That's
it was
right.
Still, there were no direction signs. There were no clearly marked washrooms. You would fight to get down a hallway to see a vendor, and then that hallway would turn into a dead end. Then you'd have to come back through that same hallway. It was just really, I don't know the reason behind the venue change. I do know that there have been a lot of concerns. You don't have to hear them here. You could go on any site right now on Instagram or Reddit, and there's a lot of chatter about that festival.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hope that the organizers are listening and learning from that, because I strongly feel so badly for the vendors that had to suffer through those situations, and also because of any lost income they had due to the fact that people just could not attend their booths.
Well, not even lost income, lost product, because some of the conditions outside.
I saw yarn in the mud. I saw yarn on the ground in the mud, and that's terrible. So,
you know, like I said, we
a lot of work is needed if that festival is going to move forward. That's what I know.
That's right. And that's like, we both really, you know, like a vendor going in there, you trust that you've paid your fee and that everything's going to be fine, that you're going to get the space that was assigned to you, that someone's looking after your needs because you have paid to be there. And so we really feel for the vendors that, you know, ended up in situations where, you know, you're scrambling at the last minute to get anything ready, not in a place where you're originally expected to be, or I don't know. It just definitely something's got to be done. I don't know what will happen next year. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And, you know, hopefully a lot of learning has been done.
Because from what I understand, and again, this was our first time attending, so we had no comparisons, but consistently what I heard from other people attending was that the prior 2 years when that festival was in a different location, they had a lovely time. And in my mind, that's exactly the time I was going to have. I was going to go, I was going to be able to sit and knit with friends and meet new people. There would be music. I would be able to see some new vendors. And unfortunately, we saw very little of the festival. I did get some pictures while I was there, but most of the pictures took place on the street going in or coming out from the festival. And we were there for a very brief time. So that's what we have to say about that. But above everything else, the key takeaway is that it absolutely needs to be safe and accessible. And so that's the work that, in my opinion, that has to be done for next year. So okay.
And so the rest of our Rhinebeck, we will have our episode up so that you can see, hopefully enjoy all of the yarny goodness and the people goodness, because we got a lot of amazing pictures with amazing people and animal pictures and
animal videos,
animal videos and
funny stories. And so, I mean, my takeaway was just the amazing people. I mean, it was lovely to go and see the yarn. It's always lovely to go and see the yarn, buy the yarn, and bring the yarn home.
I know, but we met so many nice people.
Yes.
Yep. It was wonderful. And thank you so much to everybody that came up and talked to us and said hi to us. And, you know, Kelly and I are both, I mean, a little bit shy. It was a little bit intimidating going to Podcaster Hill. I'm like,
we didn't even know if we belong there. We're thinking, I don't know. We're just little, you know, we shouldn't be up on Podcast Hill, but so many people. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. And it was just lovely to meet all of you. So thank you if you came and said hi to us.
Okay. So one quick note about next week. Next week is Halloween. We've decided that we're still going to do it at the regular time. If you can join us. If not, you know, we'll see you the next week and the video will get posted. I know it'll depend on what your situation is, whether you're getting kids ready. We may have some doorbells ringing in the background, but we just want to keep things consistent. And so that's why we decided just to do it at the regular time. And I hope that's okay. I hope some people will be able to join us. And so hopefully we'll get some knitting done and actually have some more knitting to show next week.
I just
So-
wanted to show this slide before we take off too, because this is important.
Oh yes, yes, because a sock month will
end
so.
next week. So
Yep.
as you know, we draw from the beginning of the year 2 prizes for each month. So enter the socks. So next week being October the 31st, we'll finish that night. So we won't be showing you the draws, but it will happen the following week. So for your entries, get those in by next week. We've also got Smash That Stash going on. You know all the rules. They're on the slide ahead of you. We're running that for the entire year as well. There's a boatload of entries in there for us to choose from for our random draw. And we are still running the Cowl. That's hard to say. So, and that runs until December 31st.
I got to get mine out and finish it. On top of everything else that I have to finish. Okay. Yep. Okay. So, thank you for joining us. Take care, everybody. I hope you have an amazing week and happy knitting.
Yes, somebody was mentioning before we take off. Somebody was mentioning how to find us on Instagram. These are our names down below on the bottom. On Instagram, Noelle is at Noelle's Knits and Pieces, and I am the Tangled Stitch everywhere. So you can find us there and follow along on our little knitty adventures. And we hope you do. There's also, we put any messages that we want to get to the people that follow us on YouTube. That's a good place to keep in touch with us as well. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.